expressed by this young gentleman. This, in general lines, would be the following. First of all, he is welcoming the people from Bellevue, members of the choir or of the congregation of the First Congregational Church of Bellevue, Seattle, Washington, USA. It is a church where, contrary to the general position of the Romanian churches, love is sacred and is blessed no matter whom you love. And this is the main message of my colleague, who is a representative of Accept Romania, an association which is fighting for the rights of the LGBTI members. The fact is that the Romanian churches, no matter the confession, are not very sympathetic with this matter. And the presence of the choir of the Christian Church from the United States is a great help. And it is actually a tour which was organized by this church in the support of Accept Romania and for the LGBTI rights in Romania. A referendum is going to be organized as a result of political, let's say, orientations from here to define the family in a more strictly way than it was defined in the Romanian Constitution, in the way that a family can only consist or be the result of the marriage between a man and a woman. But at the same time, the Constitutional Court of Romania accepted and approved a marriage between two gay persons, a Romanian citizen and an American citizen, an approval which is going to contradict the result which is expected to come from the referendum. So the concept of this evening is actually dedicated to love, generally speaking, without borders and without discrimination. Let's enjoy the music, because the music speaks better than any language. And in the meantime, until the music starts, we shall invite the representative of the American Embassy, Mr. Darren Kovitz, and afterwards a representative of the Bellevue Church to take the floor. We shall start with the American Embassy, if you don't mind.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome. So, as they mentioned, I'm from the American Embassy here in Bucharest. Sorry, I'm going to try to step out that light a little bit. At the embassy, I am what's called the Human Rights Officer. And my colleague Alex Climescu is here with me, and together we are the Human Rights team at the embassy. That means that what we're doing is trying to uphold the standards for human rights. And we have human rights officers in every embassy around the world. We're trying to uphold the standards of human rights for all people in that country. The native citizens of that country, minorities in that country, Roma people, Jewish people, Muslim people, LGBT people, children, people with disabilities, women, everybody, right? And honestly, it's kind of a scary time right now in the world. I'm somewhat new to working in Romania. I've only been here a few months, but I've previously worked in Hungary. And there's things happening right now around the world, in our country as well, in America. There's dark societal forces being stirred by people with nefarious motives. And it's scary. And it's really scary when it's governments and states doing things like this. And so when Accept, my friends at Accept, when they told me about this concert and I saw what it was about and I saw that it was Americans, I was so pleased. I was excited to see people out there with a positive message of love, going around the world, spreading this message. And that's what we need more of. And so I'm really excited to have this concert. It's great music, but I'm really excited for what it is they're doing symbolically and what it means for what's happening in the world today. So, with that, let's hear some music. Well, let's hear from, is it the director who's going to speak? Okay. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
For the congregation from the First Congregational Church of Bellevue, Miss Maureen Warren will tell us a few words. Will you please?
So I can see you. I'm not speaking to the light, right? Good evening. Good evening. It is really great to see all of you here. We are very excited to be here. So, what I have to say is, I am a very out, proud lesbian and have been for many, many years. The good news about where we live in Seattle, Washington, and pretty much in our nation is that, gay marriage has been legal since June of 2015, as signed by President Obama. It was a long fight. We started in the 70s, marching, and we have a gay pride parade at a lot of cities across the nation. I don't know if you have anything like that here, but if not, you might want to start one, because it does make a point. So we've been marching and singing and shouting for many, many years, and it made a big difference, but it was pain along the way. I mean, when I came out at 17 and was very suicidal, jumped back in the closet and got married. It's what you do. It's what's expected of you, right? And I would imagine being a very, Romania, from what I understand, is, very, very religious. I mean, it's not that we don't have that in the United States, but it's, we have a lot of churches like this church that I'm singing with that's very open and affirming, which is like, how amazing is that? That, love is love, and they're compassionate and kind people, which we need a lot more of, right? So that's pretty much all I have to say. I had this big thing written out, but I don't need to say much more. I will tell you one really great thing. My wife, who I am legally married to, and I do call her my wife because I get to say that word. She is our new King County Sheriff, which is kind of a big deal. She was an elected official, and she ran as an out married lesbian woman. The other great thing in the great state of Washington is that in Seattle we have 3 very powerful women, and 2 of them are out lesbians. One of them is our mayor, my wife, and then a woman of color who happens to be our police chief. So that's the first time in Washington state. I don't know about other states, but we're pretty great. So with that being said, I think you guys are here to hear us sing. We're pretty awesome.
So far we spoke a bit about the mission of this group to Romania, but didn't say too much about the choir itself. The choir, the Chancel Choir, is a famous choral ensemble who toured internationally for over 30 years, visiting several countries, usually under the direction of Mr. Denis Coleman, who unfortunately had some health problems before starting the tour, so he was not able to travel that far to Romania. Instead, the choir will be conducted by Mr. Stefan Oben, who is the Associate Minister of Music and Arts, and is the co-conductor of the Chancel Choir. His many talents include conducting, music composition, arranging, and skills on keyboards, trombone, guitar, bass, piano, and so on. For accompanying our group, Laura Wimek, who is the organist and piano player of the First Congregational Church, will actually be present here. She has been with the Bellevue Choir for 2 years, and she recently completed her degree work at the University of Washington. n-aș vrea să prelungesc acest moment verbal, dar ar trebui să spun că acest cor va fi dirijat de co-dirijorul Stephen O'Bent, care îl înlocuiește pe Dennis Coleman, care n-a putut veni din motive de sănătate. Iar la keyboard va acompania corul Laura Uimet, care este organist și acompaniator la First Congregation Bellevue de peste 2 ani. Împreună cu acest cor s-au făcut turnee în diverse țări în ultimii foarte mulți ani, mult mai mulți decât Laura acompaniază corul. Să aplaudăm și să ascultăm muzica.
Hello. My name is Stephen Obent, and it is my pleasure to be here with you today, joining the Chancellor Choir of the First Congregational Church of Bellevue, Washington. Thank you so much for having us here today. As was mentioned earlier, I am not the regular conductor of the group. I am the assistant director, and I wanted to introduce you to Dennis Coleman, who we carry with us here at all times. This is Dennis, and he's here with us. He's been on the whole tour with us in our hearts, and we're sorry that he wasn't able to be here to share this time with you and to share this time with us, but I wanted to bring him into this space and know that we're all thinking